Blog Talk Radio.
And welcome to another edition of our podcast. This is episode 52. We got you all set ready to go this evening. I am C. Carter. Joining me beside me is Jacob. Joining me beside me is Brandon. Fellas, let's go ahead and dive into it because we got a lot to talk about.
That we do, Carter. A lot of crazy things have happened in the world of professional sports. Starting off with the XFL. We know they were going to start off. We already know the cities. We already know the coaching staff and everything. But now, as of Monday, yesterday, we now know the 8 teams that are going to be playing this 10-week season starting next year for the XFL's return and rebirth. Let's go through them shall we say. Now, here's the thing. We have 5 returning teams coming back to the XFL. We have, of course, the Battlehawks of St. Louis. The Defenders now known as BC instead of Washington, which makes sense. The Seattle is back as well, but they're now known as the Sea Dragon this time. Which honestly that helps out a lot. We also have the Renegades are back, but they are no longer known as the Dallas Renegades. They're actually now going to be representing their hometown as the Arlington Renegades. And finally, the Houston Roughnecks are back as well with an updated logo and everything. 2 teams are back as well, but they have been relocated. The Guardians are no longer now going to be a New York team. They are headed down south to Florida, and they are now known as the Orlando Guardians.
That's going to be interesting because
Indeed.
you know that South Towns don't usually have the good upside in terms of sports.
Yes, that's true. And also, the Vipers are making the trip. They are not going to be in Tampa this year. They are going to be heading out west to the desert of Vegas. They are now known as the Vegas Vipers.
Oh.
But I think, guys, let me interject for a second because I think that nickname fits Vegas to a T.
It does actually because Vegas, desert, snakes, it works.
Hello, Sin City.
Yeah, it works. It works to a T. And we have a brand new team joining the XFL for next year, and they will be going to the Alamo Dome in San Antonio as the San Antonio Brahmas. I'll let you figure out why that name is that.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. If the Rockets co-owner of this league, Brahmas will get in there somehow, some way. So
yeah, but those are your 8 teams for the 2023 XFL season starting. I do believe April 2023 is going to be one very interesting season. Hopefully, they can ride them. They can bring back the momentum they had when they restarted back in 2020 before the pandemic. Well, took another kill to their ratio.
Yeah, I think that. But basically, you look at this league. I like what they did. I think they got the draft coming up later on in November.
Yes, that is true. They will be doing their draft later on this month in November. I do believe the 16th and the 17th. I could be wrong there, but their draft will be held later on this month. And let's see how they work with their draft capital.
Absolutely, I think that basically, given how successful the USFL was last year, the door is wide open for the XFL to get back to that high point of where they were back in 2020 before the pandemic hit. So,
yeah, before the pandemic took out all of American sports. But safe to say this is going to be an interesting season to say the least. But we will get more information about that once the draft happens later on this month. Let's switch it up because gentlemen, last week the World Series has begun.
Okay. And first of all, let me interject for a second because we got coming up probably in about 30 minutes is Game 3.
Yeah. Unfortunately, Philadelphia got hit with a massive rainstorm, and they had to reschedule to tonight.
Yes, I was about to say, the Astros and the Phillies, they were planning to play yesterday. Mother Nature had other ideas, so the game is moved until today. Games 3, 4, and 5 will be today, tomorrow, and Thursday. Friday is going to be the day, it's going to be the travel day, and then games 6 and 7, if necessary, will be Saturday and Sunday back in Houston.
Yep. And safe to say, this is going to be a series you do not want to miss because games 1 and 2 were really something to behold, gentlemen.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, game 1, you had the Phillies pop out an early comeback and win the game in extra innings 6-5 and 10 over the Astros, and the Astros came back swinging hard and heavy, taking game 2 5-2 back at home as they get set for their trip, as they are now ready for their fight in Philadelphia.
Well, I'll be the first one to tell you guys I thought that this was going to be a sweep, but you're seeing Philly, they're putting up a fight saying we ain't backing down from nobody, and and you're seeing that now. This team, we spoke about this last week. This team has the potential to be, probably the Cinderella story to end all Cinderella stories, because we spoke about how Philly in the middle of the season fired Joe Girardi. Bryce Harper was injured for the majority of the season. And now here we are, Philly got in the playoffs and they just become red hot. Which goes to show you, if you end the season red hot and you enter to the playoffs and you continue on, then you could go places.
Oh, definitely. Definitely. If you peak at the right time, at the right moment, best believe you can be world beaters, honestly. And Philadelphia is prime example of that.
Absolutely. And I think that this is going to be a great series. Now, Houston, that was a great bounce back win they had Saturday, because they simply let a 5-0 lead slip through their fingers. That was a great bounce back win. Now they can focus on probably winning 2 out of 3 in Philadelphia, which is, let's be honest, is no small feat. But it can be done.
No, it isn't.
But if Houston can win 2 out of 3, then they can have the potential to win in the World Series back on their home field.
That is true. I actually stated that this could be going down to a Game 7 situation because of how well both teams have played in the early goings of this series. We might be seeing a best 2 out of 3 situation, like you said, Carter, between the Astros and the Phillies, because if both teams win 1 game each in Philadelphia, best believe whoever wins the 3rd game is going to have major momentum heading back to Houston.
And let's not forget one other thing. The Phillies. This is the same Phillies team that has been in the World Series since 2009, that lost to the Yankees, but never won it all the year before that.
This is definitely a Phillies team that is motivated to finally win another championship and bring it back to the city of brotherly love.
Absolutely. And like we said, first pitch is expected to take place probably sometime a little bit after 7 o'clock.
Little under half an hour.
Yeah, a little bit after 7 o'clock. Let's say in baseball, gentlemen, because the Golden Gloves were announced today.
That's right. The MLB just announced the 2022 Rawlings Sport Gold Glove winners for both the American League and the National League. Let's start with the American League and take a look at this. Yeah, in the American League, not 1, not 2, but 2 Yankees have become Golden Glove winners. DJ LeMahieu and Jose Trevino. But the big shocker is Cleveland had not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 players win the Golden Glove award.
Who?
Yeah. Shane Bieber for pitcher, Miles Straw for center field, Stephen Kwan for left field, and Andreas Jimenez for second base.
Andreas Jimenez.
Now, so I was looking at that list, and one name is missing from that list.
What's
Aaron
that?
Judge.
I think Aaron Judge, because of how well he was drilling the baseballs out there, might be getting a Silver Slugger award, possibly even a Hank Aaron award. You know.
Yeah.
Because with his record-breaking performance, especially if he's definitely going to be going after the hitting title.
Yeah, I think that basically what the Golden Glove Awards are just basically awards to players based on how they did well on defense, how they did well on the field. So I can see how come Aaron Judge's name wasn't on the list because although he was great defensively, let's not forget that.
Let's not diss Mr. Judge here. We do not want to have being contempt of court.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I'm not interested in spending a night in jail.
But like I said, with what he's been doing on offense, I think he might have been going for the Silver Slugger and definitely the Hank Aaron Award.
Absolutely. Now, in the National League, those names are very impressive. I will admit. As you brought up, Phillies catcher JT. Gotta pronounce his name.
Realmuto.
Thank you. So he's the Golden Gloves. I think that he was a great catcher. So sure.
Indeed, and also Atlanta, even though they are not going to be repeating as World Series champions, does have two players taking home the Golden Glove: Max Fried on the pitcher and Dansby Swanson on the shortstop.
Shortstop, yeah.
And let's not forget about Mookie Betts.
Yes,
he's a Dodger,
right fielder for the Dodgers.
So he's out there. So I think that overall, though, the people that made this list. Made this list for whoever wins the Golden Gloves. I think they made the right decision here because all of these players in both leagues did very, very well on the defensive side. Now we know pretty soon when the season's over, they're going to award the Cy Young. They're going to award
Hank Aaron, the Rookie of the Year, the Rookie of the Year, the Hank Aaron, and the Silver Slugger, all the other awards. So basically, what we got here was a good taste of what the voters are looking forward to for this year's award ceremony. And honestly, I can't wait to see who takes home the MVP trophy and all the others.
Absolutely, and I know a lot of people were discussing about it. First of all, we did hear from the Yankees that Aaron Boone is coming back as Yankees manager.
I expected that.
Yeah, we did expect Aaron Boone to be re-signed with the Yankees for their manager.
Yeah. So I think that now
it's probably a good move because.
Go ahead, Brandon.
I was gonna say it's probably a good move for the Yankees because number one, obviously. He did a hell of a job ever since he got the role as the head coach of the Yankees.
Most definitely. He did a very impressive job with the Yankees organization. It's sad that they came up short in the ALCS, but you can't really blame them. It's just more so the scheduling and what the baseball gods had in store.
Yeah.
That is true. That is true. So I think overall, though, overall, as we head back to the World Series topic, I think that we're in for an exciting Game 3 this evening.
Oh, definitely. We are going to be seeing a really tight match in Game 3. If I take a look now, a look at who is going to be – here we go. Here are the starting –
Thor and Lance McCullers Jr. that's going to be on the mound.
Yeah, Lance McCullers Jr. is starting on the mound for Houston, and for Philadelphia, it is Ranger Flores. And you want to talk about how a close defensive matchup this could be for the pitching side? Let me tell you the ERA between McCullers and Flores. 2.45 for Lance McCullers Jr. Not bad, but Ranger Suarez with a 1.86. That is close if I ever saw that,
So basically, in other words, expect a very low scoring affair this evening.
Yeah, and here's their whip, which is walks, hits, innings pitched. They are literally almost breathing down each other's throats, with just a .04 difference between the two. 1.18 for Lance McCullers and 1.14 for Suarez.
Jesus.
Think about that. They know how to bring the heat. The strikeouts to ball ratio is same thing too. Suarez, but it's much more different. McCullers has got 13 Ks coming up to tonight, and Suarez is just at 9. With McCullers got 3 walks this entire World Series so far, and only 5 for Suarez.
I tell you what, this is gonna be a very defensive game 3 because. Like I said, both teams, their backs are against the wall here because you do not want to be trailing this series. So
no, you do not want to go. You do not want to be You do not want to be behind the 8 ball when it comes to the world when you're doing a best of 7. No way. That's not okay.
Absolutely. Shifting gears, gentlemen. We have a dumpster fire in progress in the NBA.
Oh,
and that dumpster fire can be located just south of Hollywood, with the purple and gold. Cause God damn.
Absolutely, and like I said, recently the Lakers won their first game of the season.
They finally get a win after 6 games. They finally get a win in the NBA in this season's NBA. So good. God,
it's at the expense. And the craziest part is that at the expense of last year's MVP Nikola Jokic and the Denver Nuggets.
Yeah, it's painful to see the Nuggets take the L for the Lakers, but honestly for the Nuggets, with how good Jokic is and with their team, I think they'll be able to get back on the hot foot with them. So don't count out Denver.
Yeah,
not at all.
Wow, we have a dumpster fire out west. We also have a dumpster fire out east.
Uh-oh.
Because Stephen Nash, I got 2 words for you.
You're fired. What? That's right. The Brooklyn Nets organization have told Steve Nash to hit the bricks, and unfortunately, doing so has started a literal fire sale over in BK. Ugh.
Now, gentlemen, we knew that this was going to happen. Before the season got started, we knew that this was going to happen because Kevin Durant, he wanted out.
Too much ego.
Yeah.
Too much ego with the players.
Yeah, Kevin Durant, he wanted out. He was getting frustrated. And now you also got Kyrie Irving, who was basically becoming a cancer at this point.
He only has himself to blame for that one.
Yeah, and Ben Simmons can't shoot water out of a bucket at this point.
He can't shoot a bucket unless even if he has a gun pointed to his head.
My only and this goes back to last year when Brooklyn and Philadelphia traded Harden and Ben Simmons respectively.
Yeah,
it's like, who's winning at this point? Both of them lost. Like, what the hell?
Both of them are trash. Yeah. Like, seriously, it was basically a damned if you do, damned if you don't type of situation.
Yeah, that is true, Jacob. That is true, and you have to wonder for Brooklyn. First of all, basically they don't have I don't think they'll have a first round draft pick until 2028. They've been trading away a lot of draft capital, and unfortunately, it's coming back with buyer's remorse. Ew. Yeah, absolutely. And I think that the frustrating thing about Brooklyn is easy and simple. You see how come James Harden wanted out of town? And I think that Steve Nash. Now, is it all his fault? No. I don't think it's all his fault. If anything, he gets partial of the blame. If you want to see most of the blame, go look up the ranking system, gentlemen. Yeah, I think that here's the thing though, and I just simply say it like this: it's not all Steve Nash's fault. You know,
No,
he's not
he was
the one
only...
that put this team together. He's not the
Nah.
one that put this team together. And, you know, this is what happens. You know, we have two super teams, basically, in both coasts, and both of them are struggling like hell. And it's frustrating. If you're a Brooklyn fan, it's frustrating. Now, if you're a Hit kid, you're having a ball. But
definitely, because while Brooklyn is burning away, best believe New York is basically playing for the future, and they're basically playing with house money.
Absolutely. Let me run through some scores real quick in the NBA because we already got some games already.
Yeah, we got a couple games already going on in progress as we speak. Over in Miami at the FTX Arena, I actually find that a lot easier to work with. The Heat and the Warriors are duking it out with the Warriors barely in the lead over the Heat, 13-7, with 6 minutes and change left in the first quarter.
I wouldn't say barely. I wouldn't say barely because you never know when the Warriors going to.
True, you're right on that part. You're right on that part. When you got the Splash Brothers in action, you don't know what could happen. Over in Brooklyn, the Bulls taking on the dumpster fire known as the Brooklyn Nets. The Bulls are leading by 5 over the Nets with 4 minutes and change left in the first quarter as well.
Yeah, I was about to say I think Jacques Vaughn is the interim head coach, but suspended. Celtics head coach, I can't pronounce his name, but he
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, he emerged as a possible favorite to be the next head coach of the Nets. So.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Good luck with that, buddy. But we do have a couple more games coming up later on tonight. In fact, just a tip-off about to happen in about less than 10 minutes over in OKC as the Thunder play host to the Orlando Magic.
And later on, we got the Timberwolves and the Suns. They're going to do battle at the Footprint Center.
Yep, at 9 o'clock on TNT.
And this is going to be a scary thing because you have one team that's there's almost like an all defensive group with.
Yeah, definitely, and you got a team who's trying to continue that wave of momentum of consistency with playoff appearances.
Absolutely. I think that I like what Minnesota did during the off season. They had to make so many trades, and the way how they built this team. You know,
definitely,
I think
they were basically thinking, okay, if we work for the future and get a couple good key players, then we're on the right track to making some playoff appearances, and it's bearing fruit. You know.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
The scariest thing is you're at Phoenix. How the hell do you keep out a technically a 4-headed monster in Anthony Edwards, D'Angelo Russell, who's a former draft pick of the Los Angeles Lakers, Big Cat, and
Carl AKAT.
Absolutely. I think that basically we know it's early, but
it's way early in the season. I suggest we start planning on seeing who's going to be playoff contenders, possibly maybe February.
Yeah, I think probably February, March. I think definitely.
Funny enough,
I'd say late January, early February is when we start seeing the contenders show and the pretenders go.
Yeah, I think basically let's wait till after the All-Star break and then we'll really see what's going on.
Wait till after the All-Star break and then we'll talk. You know, but till then, let's keep our ears to the ground because we do not want to miss any of the good action. But
funny guys about the All-Star game in the NBA because last I heard it's going to be in Salt Lake City this year.
Yeah. Wow, Salt Lake. When's the last time they had the All-Star weekend in Utah?
Yeah, I was about to say, at the arena formerly known as the Delta Center.
Yeah.
I don't know what they changed their name to now, but I think it's a Vivid. Is it Vivid?
Hold on. Let's see. Utah Jazz Arena. Yeah, the Vivid Arena. What it is, the Vivid Arena.
I think that we're going to find out probably after the All-Star game in Utah who's going to be pretenders, who's going to be contenders.
funniest thing is this is the first time that the NBA All-Star Game is in Utah in 30 years.
30 years? So they haven't been there since the early 90s.
Yeah,
93 to be
Karl
exact.
Malone and John Stockton.
exactly 30 years. Well, kind of, sort of.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's insane, honestly, to know that it took them that long to bring an All-Star game to Utah, honestly. But,
absolutely. Shifting gears, gentlemen.
Let's head down to the ice.
Go ahead, Jacob.
I was gonna say, let's shift gears and let's head down to the ice for a little bit because, Arizona finally had their first game and their rental.
I watched this game Friday on Hulu. It was the Winnipeg Jets and the Arizona Coyotes. Now,
ironically, it's the team that left Winnipeg and the other team that basically took up the mantle in Winnipeg.
Yeah, basically, and the gimmick that they was doing at the Mullet Arena.
Mullet Arena. They decided, hey, it's gonna be free mullet night. Come down and wear your own custom Arizona Coyotes mullet.
Stupid idea. I'm sorry. That's just stupid.
Well, I was saying to myself, I said, gee, we're going back to the 1990s and the days of Billy Ray Cyrus and the Achy Breaky Heart song.
Oh, my God.
Oh, God.
But I think, first of all, Arizona lost that game 3-2
in overtime to the Jets, 3-2.
Yeah, I was about to say also. Now they said that the crowd was a sellout crowd, which that's understandable.
Yeah, but the problem was that sellout crowd came out to be the number of a little over 4,500 fans.
Yeah, that's just the fact that the arena could only hold up to 5,000 folks. So yeah, it's gonna be a sellout crowd. But it's frustrating, and we spoke about this last week. We spoke about Arizona, the Arizona Coyotes. Can they work in this system? And the answer is obviously no. They cannot work at that base. That team has to. Gary Bettman at some point has to raise the white flag of surrender and says, okay,
and pull the plug. But moving on from the Coyotes dumpster fire, we got a lot of good games going on as we speak. In fact, three of them has just ended the first period of action. Over at the world's most famous arena, Madison Square Garden, we got the Philadelphia Flyers going up against the Rangers, and so far it's a defensive showdown at MSG at the end of the first period, scoreless, heading into intermission.
Absolutely. Also,
that's a big good one. Go ahead.
I was about to say, also at the end of the first period, down in Tampa, the Senators are leading the Lightning 1-0. So that's a good game.
Interesting. Yeah, and also going on tonight over at the nation's capital at Capital One Arena, we got the Caps and the Golden Knights. They are tied 1-1 heading into the first intermission.
Absolutely. Running down the upcoming games we have later on this evening. I'll just run these down real quick. We got Nashville and Edmonton at the Rogers Place. That's coming up a little bit later this evening.
Yep.
We also got the Islanders and the Blackhawks.
At the United House. Center. Yeah, at the Madhouse. Up north in the U.S., the Canadians are traveling down south to take on the Wild of Minnesota.
Absolutely. Puck is about to drop in Pittsburgh between the Bruins and the Penguins. The puck is about to drop there.
Same with the Canadians and the Wild. Over in the Big D, Dallas plays host to the Kings. That's gonna be a good one right there. And then in a couple hours from now, up in Calgary at the legendary Saddle Dome, the Kraken will go up north to take on the Flames of Calgary.
Oh boy,
that's gonna be a good one.
And then we got the 9 o'clock. Then we got the late games at 9 o'clock. Brandon, your Devils in New Jersey are heading across the continent to
they're heading. Yeah.
To take on the Canucks. That's gonna be rough.
No kidding.
Later on tonight, it's another home game at the Mullet Arena as the Panthers head down to Arizona to take on the Coyotes.
Absolutely.
I hate to be the guy to say this, but this is going to be one of those games where it's going to be easy work for Florida.
Yeah, definitely. And finally, rounding out tonight's action at the Shark Tank in San Jose, we got ourselves another game of Cali hockey as the Anaheim Mighty Ducks go face off against the San Jose Sharks.
That's gonna be a good game. That's gonna be some very good games. Let's go ahead and shift gears, gentlemen. And let's shift focus to college football first. Because
ladies and gentlemen, the college football committee.
Hold on, Jacob. Hold on.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Before we talk about the new rankings, we got to talk first of all what happened between Michigan State and Michigan. Because my God, we got
my God. There's a reason why I gave them the nickname Motor City Mayhem, because that's what we got.
Exactly. And already, the suspensions are coming in. I think so far 8 players have been suspended so far.
Yeah, 8 players has gotten the boot because of a video that was surfaced of the Michigan State players not treating their other teammates very well, to say the least.
Yeah, I think they basically jumped on them when the game is over.
Yeah, when the game was over, they were just going to town on this poor dude. And
the thing that's frustrating, I know that this was a rivalry game. We get it.
Yeah, whenever rivalry games happen, emotions get hypercharged, man, and a lot of things can happen that you regret later on in life. It's kind of like binge drinking on a Saturday night. You wake up Sunday morning, and you're in your underwear, you got shit all over your face, and the room is short, and what the fuck happened?
Oh man. As I was about to say, does that sound like one of those wild Saturday nights that we usually hear from time to time? Person drunk themselves completely out of their mind, they don't know what happened.
Yeah, it's like you wake up. It's like the second you start drinking, you black out, and you wake up and you're like, what happened? And you look at your face and like, what the happened to me? And you look at the room like, what happened?
I mean, it's frustrating. And like we said, and Jim Harbaugh said that he's expecting some of those players to be charged. The Michigan State players to be charged.
Yeah, Jim Harbaugh has stated that he wants federal charge. He wants state and federal charges to go down onto those Michigan State players.
Absolutely. So I think that, like we said, it's a rivalry. Things get heated in a rivalry. But what happened between Michigan State and Michigan was one step too far. And
that showed the ugly side of rivalry games.
Absolutely. Now, we're gonna put that aside because the new rankings come out, and there's a lot of people that are shocked, stunned.
Yeah, both in the AP poll, and now since we are in the latter stages of the season, the College Football Committee has been coercing and congregating. We now have the first look of the College Football Playoff rankings, and gentlemen. Oh, God, it's chaotic.
Yeah, no kidding. And I tell you what, first of all,
before we talk about the college football,
if you think that Georgia is number 1 in the college football playoff ranking, you are sadly mistaken.
We'll get to that in a minute, but let's talk about the AP polls. This is their last week before we start focusing on the college football rankings. Here's what the AP poll has to say. Of course, they got Georgia number 1. Here's a shocker for you. Both Ohio State and Tennessee are tied for number 2. With Michigan right behind them at number 4, with Clemson and Alabama on the outside looking in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and as we look down the top 10, of course, UCLA takes up the top 10 spot. But here's a good shocker on the AP poll. Both we have not one but 2 Louisiana teams cracking the top 20, with my LSU Tigers at number 15 and Tulane just 4 positions right behind them.
Absolutely. And and now that here we are in November, this is where contenders go step up. Now
this is where the contenders show and the pretenders go.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and now and like I said, the first version of the college football playoff rankings are up available, and like I said, the top 10 is just basically a scrambled mess of chaos because, like Carter said, if you think Georgia's number one, to quote Bad News Barrett, I am afraid I have some bad news.
I'm afraid.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing, because we're going to start off at number 10. Number 10 is LSU, which is no surprise to me whatsoever because LSU, they're still learning. They're growing. Brian Kelly's doing a wonderful job over there. Number 9 is USC, the Trojans.
The Trojans is USC takes number 9. That's good for USC. They have been having a good season so far.
Absolutely. Number 8 is the Oregon Ducks. So
the Ducks
Pac-12 gets some love here.
Yeah, so Pac-12, we're getting some love here. Oregon and USC cracked the top 10 at number 7. Here's a shocker for you. TCU cracks the top 10 at number 7, the Horned Frogs.
Well, I think that with TCU, and like we said, TCU, they're undefeated. But number 6, Alabama, with a 7-1 record, is ahead of them. Now,
indeed,
I'm pretty sure most fans in TCU are a little bit angry.
A little bit upset, yeah.
Here's the thing. It's early. It's early. You still got some time, TCU. You still got a schedule ahead of you. And
definitely.
And if Alabama loses one more game, then, you're pretty much a shoe-in at this point. But there's a lot more teams ahead of you.
Basically, if I'm the head coach of TCU, I would take this number 7 and use it as motivation. Motivate your players to push harder, to play better, and be able to show the world that you deserve to have a chance to fight in the playoffs,
Absolutely. Basically, use it as bulletin board material.
Use it as a way to stoke the flames of competition.
Absolutely.
That's your fire starter right there. Number 6 is Alabama, which is kind of not shocking. Number 5 though is Michigan. Michigan gets bumped out of the playoffs, and on the outside looking at it, number 5, even though they are 8-0 undefeated so far this season.
But I think that at this point, this is where the strength of schedule comes into the conversation. Because Clemson is number 4, and then after Clemson, this is where most people were shocked at. Georgia is number 3.
That's right. The reigning national champions are sitting 3rd in the college football playoffs. Think about that. Okay.
Absolutely.
At number two, just outside of the throne, is the Buckeyes of Ohio State. Okay.
And of course, number 1. Here's a shocker. Most people are still shocked. Tennessee. Oh, by the way, how ironic that the two teams that are tied for number 2 in the AP Top 25 are 1 and 2 in the college football playoff ranking. How ironic.
Think about this. I do not remember in my history of knowing about the Tennessee Volunteers to see them crack number 1, top of the heap in the ranking system. Not since the days of Peyton Manning when he was slinging it. Okay.
And also, gentlemen, I think that the game between Tennessee and Georgia coming up this weekend is huge.
Got a lot more tense, to say the least.
Yeah.
Yes, it did.
I think that we are in for this going to be a very tough weekend in college football.
No. Stuff does not even describe what's going to be happening this Saturday between Tennessee and Georgia. I'm expecting a bloodbath. Okay, I'm expecting both teams to go hard, fast, and ruthless throughout 60 minutes of hell.
No kidding.
I was about to say, here's another one. Alabama and LSU. They're playing this weekend.
Yeah, this Saturday at Death Valley. Best believe the ranking systems is going to be on the line, and best believe every person in both Alabama and Louisiana, myself included, has circled the date and the time for that game. and best believe they will be on tenterhooks watching it live. Okay.
Absolutely. I think it's going to be a close one. It is going to be a nail biter. Here we are in the month of November.
We are going to be having reminiscence of 2011 and 2019 between these two. Okay?
Oh, boy.
And we all know how those games went out. Those games went out to be one, a defensive showcase, and two, a knockdown, drag-on-out slugfest. Oh,
man. Now, this is going to be a dolly book because this is exactly what's going to happen. This is why Oklahoma and Texas are trying to get to the SEC because the SEC has so much competition in it.
There's a reason why many of us SEC fans call the Southeastern Conference the crabs in the bucket conference because every team in that conference wants to have the top spot. Okay?
So like we said, so they are in luck. Now, let me jump on UCLA for a second because Basketball Hall of Famer Bill Walton said, I am against UCLA going into the Big Ten, which I totally understand. I totally understand how come he said it. Now because he likes to stick with tradition. UCLA has always been in the Pac-10/Pac-12.
Pac-12.
Yeah, for almost forever. And
since the early days of the Pac-12. I'm talking about way back in the day, like the 60s and shit.
Yeah, that's how come I said it was the Pac-8, Pac-10, Pac-12. But I think the thing of it is that I can understand where Bill Walton is coming from. We spoke about this before, and how come so many teams are switching conferences? They're just simply following the money.
Money and ratings talk, man. The tradition takes a back seat to that. If the money talks loud enough and the ratings show for it, best believe you'll see many teams get out of their trusted conferences and go for the money.
Yeah, I mean, you hate to see it though.
Yeah, you hate to see it, but you kind of figured it would happen because, like I always say, money talks and bullshit walks.
That's a sad but true statement. Shifting gears, gentlemen, and let's focus with the NFL because today was the trading deadline.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the trade deadline for the 2022-2023 season has come to a close, and gentlemen, a lot of teams were wheeling and dealing.
Yeah. I was about to say.
Especially
where was Wayne Brady when you need him? Where was Wayne Brady when you need him?
Because the biggest team that was making the most noise with the wheel and dealing, shockingly enough, is Denver.
Oh.
Yeah, Denver was trading draft picks like they were giving away water.
Yeah, they were trading away draft picks like I said they were candy.
Yeah, like they were continuing Halloween from last night, Like
that's what I have to say. I know yes, it was Halloween, but this is ridiculous. And Denver wasn't the only team that was doing this. And I said Denver was the only team that was doing this because you had so many teams that trading players away for draft picks. Yeah, for draft capital. Detroit, they traded away their tight end to Minnesota. For draft capital. And the team that I'm shocked didn't make any noise was my team, New Orleans, because everybody was talking about where Alvin Kamara was going to go. But unfortunately, New Orleans was smart enough to put the price at exactly what they wanted, and nobody wanted to take a bite. Absolutely, and likewise with the Rams, Cam Akers, what pronounce his name right? He's not too happy that he's still stuck in Los Angeles, so he can't go anywhere. So he's
definitely
not too happy.
Well, that's the way with the trade deadline. You think you're set to go with moving, but unfortunately, the price was too steep for most of the teams. They could not match it.
Absolutely.
Okay, that's the thing when you got high-end talent. When you got high-end talent and you want to show that you're he wants to be traded. Unfortunately, the Rams will want something big. Your team wants something big in return.
Absolutely. Now, let me bring this up. This is one of the trades that happened today. Buffalo Bills traded, well, actually the Atlanta Falcons traded Dean Marlowe to the Buffalo Bills for a 2023 seventh round draft pick. So now they wasn't done yet because they also traded that draft pick to the Kansas City Chiefs to get Rashad Fenton.
Definitely. Yeah, it shows that the trade deadline can do a lot of crazy things for all 32 teams in the National Football League.
I think there's one thing you guys are overlooking. It's that the Bills got another player, and that's a running back.
Yeah, they actually got themselves a good number 2 back to help out with their running game.
Yeah, absolutely. The Colts traded away Nyheim Hines, and they traded to Buffalo. Buffalo sent back Zach Moss and a 6th round draft pick. So many of these teams, they're willing and dealing. The football team traded away William Jackson III and a 7th round draft pick in 2025 for a 2024 6th round draft pick. Now, also the Steelers, they wasn't done yet because they sent Claypool. They sent him away. They sent him to Chicago.
Speaking of Chicago, they gave their best defenseman, Quan Smith, to Baltimore.
Yep.
Now, if you're Pittsburgh, I mean, you're basically rebuilding at this point.
Oh, definitely rebuild for the Insers.
Yeah, you're basically rebuilding at this point because you just sent away Claypool. So who is Pickett going to throw to? It's kind of like the same situation we're seeing in Green Bay. We asked the same question: who's Aaron Rodgers going to throw to himself? And speaking of Green Bay, they did butt kiss. Absolutely, positively nothing in the trading.
They did
today.
That was a bad idea to start with for Green Bay. That you sit on your hands and do jack shit when you know you need to get offensive weapons for Aaron Rodgers.
But the only other problem, and there's another problem, and it's the cap.
That is true. The salary cap is an evil thing. I know that from firsthand experience. Cap hell sucks.
I was about to say, that's how come Brandon Cooks is still in Houston because no team wants to pick up that $18 million guaranteed pick, that guaranteed contract. Nobody wants to pick it up, so that's how come he's still in Houston.
Yep, and yeah, that's what it is. It is what it is, you know.
Absolutely. And I think that overall, though, the way the trades have happened, now we're about to get ready to see. First of all, Philadelphia, it's going to be pretty much a 2-team horse race because the Giants made a deal. They sent Tony. I'm going to make sure I got this straight. They sent Tony to the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yep.
If I'm wrong, correct me.
Kadarius Toney, yeah.
There is Tony going to the Chiefs here, and what did the Giants ask for in return?
Well, let me see for that real quick. The Giants got back in return. Give me a second, but
I'm looking.
While I'm looking, you all can talk among yourselves. Oh, here we go. Giants get a 2023 third round pick, a 2023 sixth round pick. So they traded away 2 picks for Kadarius Toney. Chiefs sent 2 picks to get Kadarius Toney.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think that's very interesting because you just basically gave Patrick Mahomes another weapon.
But here's another question: is Kadarius Toney healthy enough to be the player that the Chiefs traded for?
That is a very good question. See, that's the thing about these trades. These trades are, like hit or miss.
Mm-hmm.
Will it be successful? Will it come back to bite you on the backside?
That's the nature of the trade.
Yeah, I say when we have seen that happen. Ask Denver. Denver. They got Russell Wilson. Great. That's just
Problem is, you got it, but the problem is you got his terrible cooking.
Yeah, you had to deal with. Yeah, you had to deal with that. But at least Denver is saying, "Hey, we're not backing down from this fight. We're going to put up a fight or something." But they did what they did do. However, they traded away Bradley Chubb to Miami, and what Denver got in return. Follow this correctly. Denver got in return the 49ers 23rd first round pick, the Dolphins 24th fourth round pick, and running back Chase Edmonds. So, I mean, that's a gamble.
That is a big gamble, best believe. So we're gonna have to see what happens. But as we stick to the NFL, let's run down the scheduling for Week 9.
Yeah.
For Week 9, I think we are now officially at the halfway point of the 2022 NFL season. So things are about to get really interesting.
We are.
Let's start it off with Thursday Night Football as the undefeated Philadelphia Eagles head down to Houston to take on the 1-5 Texans over on Amazon.
It's going to be a one-sided slaughter. Let's be real.
Safe to say the Eagles are going to be making a very strong case to do what only one other team has done in NFL history, and that's go perfect.
I think the question has to be asked if Jalen Hurts is going to make the Texans hurt.
In more ways than one.
Because I think that he has the weapons, but Philly better not take this game lightly. And by the way, how ironic! It's gonna happen Thursday night. We got the Astros and the Phillies, and then you got the Eagles and the Texans.
Oh God.
Houston's gonna have a conundrum. Do I go to the World Series? Do I go to Eagles game? Do I go to the World Series? Do I go to the Eagles game?
It's like if you're a fan of the Texans, don't bother go to the game if you know it's going to be a slaughter.
If anything, if you want to be really smart, I suggest you sell out Minute Maid Park and just keep an eye on the Houston game on your phone.
So hold on, Jacob. Game 5 is in Philly.
Oh, Philly. Okay, good point. So basically, you're kind of forced to go to the Houston game, but go to the Texas game. But at least you can watch the World Series on your phone.
Here's what I do. Here's what I would do if I'm you. If I'm Houston, I don't feel like going to the game because I know exactly what's going to happen. You can always say, okay, let's watch a little bit of what's happened here. And then once that game simply turns into a blowout, just turn over to the World Series.
Just flip the channel back to Fox and just watch the World Series happen. Because at least you got a team who actually have a chance to win a championship in Houston. Ha!
Let's move to the next game.
Yeah, let's go down. Let's move on to the Sunday slate for this Sunday.
This Sunday we have the Los Angeles Chargers down to the Atlanta face the Falcons.
Definitely a battle of the 500s right here. Can the Chargers stay above 500, or will Atlanta continue their winning streak?
Whoever thought when this season got started, Atlanta would be leading the NFC hot garbage division?
Yeah. Here's a shocker for you. I never thought I would see this, but we saw this on Discord. When you're in any tree, posted a tweet of a GIF, basically, of the NFC South in general, and it's basically a little Mario 41 where you see all the other players just walk off.
The Mario Party. From the video of Luigi winning by doing nothing.
Absolutely nothing. And here's the shocker: the Atlanta Falcons social media guy actually replied to it.
Oh, wow.
OMG. OMG.
Yeah, and Tree replies like, what? Okay?
Wow.
That's how powerful social media has become, basically. Continuing on with the Sunday slate, we got ourselves an AFC East rivalry match coming up this Sunday over at the Meadowlands as the 5-3 Jets play host to the 6-1 Bills, and best believe New York would love to continue their ways of staying alive in the AFC East.
Yeah, that may be true, but Buffalo is a very, very tough team to figure out.
Yeah, because they want to get to the Super Bowl very bad.
Yeah, you can see it in their eyes. I think that especially
they got that fire in them. They got that fire in them because they really want to get to the Super Bowl for the first time in 30 years.
Yeah, I was about to say, considering how you see how they made those deals to make sure everything is set up the way how they want it, I think Buffalo is pretty much going all in at this point. You know, kind of like
definitely.
You see how those people
They're pushing all their chips to the middle of the table and say it's Super Bowl or bust.
Yeah, they go all in. So I can see them doing that, absolutely.
And let's not forget some other games that's coming up.
Yeah, let's continue on with the nooner games. Over in Chi-Town at Soldier Field, the Bears will play host to the 5-3 Dolphins.
Yeah.
The Dolphins are trying to stay alive as well in the AFC East race, barring the unfortunate.
I'm just hoping that Justin Fields can stay alive in that backfield. But that line is a joke.
Because their O-line is Swiss cheese, man.
Speaking of health O-line, Cincinnati, they're hosting the Carolina Panthers.
Ooh, over at the concrete jungle. Nice little mutant football reference there.
Yep, at the Paycor Stadium.
Formerly known as Paul Brown Stadium, as they play host to Baker Mayfield and the Panthers. Baker knows all about the Bengals all too well.
Yeah, but it's too bad that Baker Mayfield is playing second fiddle to P.J. Walker.
Oh.
That's got to be rough. Continuing on, we got ourselves an NFC North confrontation over at Ford Field as the Lions play host to the Green Bay Packers. The Lions need all the help they can get, man.
Well, given the state how both these teams are, dare I say?
Yeah,
there we go.
Yep, we were waiting for it, ladies and gentlemen. I think that's confirmed. We got ourselves a table.
I think that here's the thing though with Green Bay because I know they're 3-5. And
3-5, 3-5.
Yeah, and I think that I know Aaron Rodgers is trying as hard as he could, but there's no weapon there. And
if he don't have any weapons, then what are you doing?
Yeah, I mean it's a head scratcher to me. And you can just ask this question: what they're doing over there? What's going on in Green Bay? And Detroit pretty much is falling off the face of the earth at this point.
But which is sad because they got so much good weapons, but the main issue they're having is just consistency. I always say consistency wins championships, and unfortunately, it's not helping out over in the Motor City.
No, it's not. What's next?
Next,
we have another team.
Another good AFC matchup over at the Razor, otherwise known as Gillette Stadium. The 4-4 Patriots play host to the Colts of Indianapolis. The Indianapolis Colts trying to get back above 500 for their season.
I think you just skipped the game there, Jacob.
No, it is. No, I'm looking at them as I speak. Patriots and Colts also a nooner game.
Yeah, I was about to say also, Indianapolis fired their offensive coordinator. So
that's a surprise.
Yeah, no shocker there.
Yeah, that's not a big surprise to me. But basically at this point, and I know if Cody is watching, I know he hates what's going on with Indy right now. I mean, they lost to the Command. They lost to the football team.
Yeah.
And I mean, this season is just not going well for Indy. And I wouldn't be surprised if head coach Frank Reich gets fired when the season is over.
And speaking of the football team, they are going to be playing host at FedEx Field against the 6-1 Vikings of Minnesota. Minnesota is trying to stay on top of the NFC North as their conquest to getting a chance at a Super Bowl is still pretty much a possibility.
Well, Heineke did a very good job against the Colts last week. But now he's facing off against Minnesota. Their defense is good. I mean,
definitely. It reminds you of the Purple People Eaters they had back in the 70s and 80s. You know.
Yeah. Absolutely. So I wouldn't be surprised if the Vikings blow out the football team. I wouldn't be surprised if that happens.
Yes.
Not at all.
Also, we got ourselves another tank bowl between the Jaguars and the Raiders over in Duval.
I think this is going to be the Tank Bowl. I think this is going to be the Tank Bowl, gentlemen.
That's it. Bring that up.
Yeah.
Because
if I'm Tony Khan's daddy, I'm be fuming right now.
Yeah. Let me explain. Because the Jaguars, they started so well, and now they have dropped 5 straight. They're at 2-6, and it's not going to get any easier. Las Vegas.
And for the Raiders, I feel like the Raiders have been thrown into the meat grinder with nothing but bad luck. I mean, did they let a black cat cross their path while walking under a ladder and accidentally stepping on a mirror?
Well, I've been supposed to tell you guys. I mean, the Raiders had to be furious after how they got stomped by the New Orleans Saints this past week, 24-0. Couldn't even get on the scoreboard. And
all I can say is this: Raider head office. Why the hell did you get rid of previous guy who took you to the playoffs?
Yeah, who got you to the dance in honor of John Madden? Why did you let him go? Art Davis, you fucking idiot!
Just name Mark Davis. I mean, that's the best way I can put it.
And now we move to the 3 o'clock games. We only got one this week as the Cardinals of Arizona play host to the Seahawks of Seattle.
We have 2.
No, it's 1 because it's a 3:05 game.
Damn.
Yeah, but as the Cardinals and the Seahawks battle the NFC Birds, do battle. It's an NFC West showdown right there.
I'll tell you guys what. Let me say something real quick.
Go.
Geno Smith is shocking a lot of people.
Everybody thought when Geno Smith got drafted, they thought, it's not gonna be good for him when he makes it to the pro level, yada yada yada. Well, it took him a couple of years, but he is starting to show progress here in the NFL. And it took him good going to Seattle to basically helping him make the big moves.
Yes, because I was about to say, because I think he was drafted by the Giants. Was it the Giants?
No,
it was the Jets.
No, it was the Jets.
Yeah,
it was the Jets. It took him getting picked up by Seattle to basically show off his form. Basically, he's fitting into what Pete Carroll is talking about. You know.
Now, who would have thought this? That doesn't matter who the quarterback is, Pete Carroll is having a success right now.
And here's the crazy thing. This is what everybody says, that Seattle is in a deep rebuild when they got rid of Russell Wilson. Little did we know getting rid of Wilson was basically what they needed to move forward.
Yeah,
you know?
Absolutely. And speaking of moving forward,
at 3:30 we're going to have the current Super Bowl champion Rams heading down south to Tampa to take on Tom Brady and the Buccaneers. Carter, I feel sorry for you.
Me too, because Tom Brady and Giselle have called it quits.
It's official, ladies and gentlemen. The divorce is happening, and Tom Brady has no one to blame but himself.
Yeah, I mean, but he chose football, so
it's
unfortunate.
He made the most obvious mistake you never should do when you have a beautiful woman as your girlfriend or wife. You chose sports over your lover.
Hell.
But yeah.
Yeah, I think that honestly, let me say this real quick. I'm really, really hoping that the Buccaneers break this losing streak. First of all,
can I be honest?
Go ahead.
I can hear Antonio clowning around Tom Brady on this.
No. We ain't having it happen. Not here.
Enough from the clown. I'm tired of that goddamn clown, so shut the fuck up. Anyway, moving on. on. Let's go down. Let's take a look at the primetime games. It's going to be happening this Sunday and Monday night over in Kansas City. It's going to be the battle of the 5 and 2s as the Titans head to the Midwest to take on Patrick Kermit the Frog Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. That one's going to be a good one.
I got a quick question. Quick question, gentlemen. Is Ryan Tannehill going to be healthy enough to be back at the QB? Malik Willis did a good job against Indy. But is Ryan Tannehill going to be healthy enough to be back as the quarterback?
That's a tough call.
Indeed. But yeah, this is going to be a good matchup between both teams. Both teams are looking to try to give themselves a good leg up in their respective divisions. The Titans want to keep a firm grip on the AFC South. Chiefs trying to stay in hunt in the AFC West.
Yeah, let me say something real quick. Also, this could also be a good chance to see if Kadarius Toney is going to be ready to go too.
Indeed, that's a good point. And then tomorrow night, Monday Night Football. Monday Night Football. My New Orleans Saints makes their Monday Night Football debut this season, but unfortunately, they are playing host to Lamar Jackson and the Ravens. Oh dear.
Well, somebody's gonna be serving up gumbo Monday night.
And here's a good thing about this. This is a bye week for the Giants, because if you look at the last 8 games, week 10 through 18, look who they have next. They got Dallas, Washington, Detroit, Houston.
Yeah, I'm looking at their weeks now. Here's what the rest of the schedule, that is going to be rough for them because they got Houston next week. That could be a good way to same thing with Detroit, good way to help out with the young talent. But then things are rough because they're going to face off against Dallas at Big D, the Commanders, then the undefeated Eagles if they stay undefeated. Then they go on the road for 2 weeks, first going to Maryland to face off against the Commanders, and then up to Minnesota to take on the Vikings. Come back for the Colts game, and then rounding it all up, heading up to Philly to face off against the Eagles.
Yeah. That'll be a tough one.
The only thing I can say about this is that I can see the Giants picking up at least 6 wins.
I think that's a good number. 6 is not too bad.
Double-digit wins and possibly have a good shot of possibly either getting a wild card or maybe even taking the NFC East to possibly getting a home game.
That's a distinct possibility. Also, the Cleveland Browns, they have a bye this week, especially after how they beat the living daylights out of Cincinnati last night.
Oh God! Yeah, it was a Halloween Monday night to be sure because the freaks came out for the dog pound. Woo-hoo!
Well, you know what they say, the freaks come out at night. So, Cleveland has a bye, Dallas has a bye, Denver has a bye, the Giants have a bye, the Steelers have a bye, and the 49ers have a bye this week. So if you have any players on your fantasy football team, go ahead and sub them out.
Start switching them to the bench. It's always
gentlemen, as the first year of our show comes to a close, this is episode 52, and now we look ahead to next year. Gentlemen, my God, we are having so much fun here in this bar. That's the best way I could put it.
Yeah.
And we cannot have done it without our fans.
Most definitely. Think about that. If you would have told us we would start up a podcast and we would have fun doing it, we were like, yeah, but I bet it would be going maybe a month tops. Okay. And think about this. We've gone a full calendar year since we started this podcast. That says a lot for itself.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I just want to say this real quick. Thank you, Jacob, and thank you, Brandon, for us putting this show together. And thanks to our listeners and our callers that call in and voice their opinions on this show. This is your show. And, like we said, we just love talking about sports. And we don't just do it on this podcast.
That was the main gimmick for this podcast. It's a podcast made by sports fans, for sports fans, with sports fans in mind.
Absolutely.
Of course.
You know, and like I said, we wouldn't be doing this podcast without you, the fans, people who watch this podcast every Tuesday on Blog Talk Radio. And again, we can't say thank you enough. One full calendar year, and it's like we just got started. And we're not done yet, not by a mile. We have said multiple times, this show will end when we feel like it's ready to be. Okay? And as always, come join us at the bar. Come join us every Tuesday.
Yeah, of course. Come on.
Or 7:30 if we got a big show. We might be changing that up if we feel like it. On Blog Talk Radio. Give us a call. Be like our callers. Give us a call. We'd love to listen to you guys. 516-666-9955. Give us a call. Voice your opinion. Give us your questions. Talk about topics you want to talk about. We would love to listen to you guys. And as always, if you want to catch up on past episodes, go for it. Our video on demand has got every episode, not only on Blog Talk Radio, but over on iHeartRadio and Spotify. Search up VWU Sports Podcast and get your fill. But as always, gentlemen, this has been one hell of a ride, and this train ain't stopping yet because the World Series is getting in full swing. We are at the halfway point of the NFL season. NBA and NHL getting their season going off right, and a lot more has been going on. But as always, we love you so much. We will see you guys next week. As always, still on Blog Talk Radio. From our good buddies Brandon and Carter, I'm JB. We love you all. We will see you guys next week. But until then, we gotta go. It's closing time. Good night.
See you later, boys.
Woo! Baby.